What's going on, everyone? Welcome. This is the Warehouse Series. I appreciate everybody for joining in, and I have not made a video probably in over a month, and guys, I've had a lot of subscribers since then. So two of the most popular questions I get from new subscribers or new selectors are what exactly is going on over on Discord. So I'm going to go over that a little bit, and what is a cube? You know, I have touched base on this before on a previous video, but guys, I have over 400 videos listed on my YouTube channel. Instead of me searching through all of them, I'm just going to reiterate what I talked about on that one, and that is going over the cube of a pallet, which is the height. Okay, guys, so subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. Guys, if you want to shop at my eBay store, I'm running 25% off on all my items all the way through Monday. It is a great way for you guys to get a great item. I love my eBay store. That's what I do most of the time. So the reason why I don't post is I work construction 5 days a week now, 40 hours a week, and then if not more, and then I am doing eBay, and then I am still working on my yard services. I am doing leaf cleanups, which I'm pretty much done now because we got snow coming. So I've been extremely busy, and that's why I have not been putting out videos. The other thing I want to touch on real quick, I'm trying to work on my mic. Guys, I'm not buying new equipment for this YouTube channel. I barely make any money on this YouTube channel, so I do not want to invest more money into this. I'd rather take my money and invest it into eBay or my yard services that I'm going to be continuing to do. So no money is going into this, what I have already put into it. So, ignore the mouth. I apologize. People comment all the time on that. So let's get on to the first thing I want to talk about, and that is Discord. All right, guys, so this is a screenshot of my Discord page, and there's just a few things I want new selectors to worry about. And the main thing is up here where you see the Warehouse Series. If you click that, you can message me directly and give me a private message. Just send me a friend request on Discord, and we can start chatting, and I can help you out privately if you do not want to do it on the actual open pages. So right now we got the general tab highlighted, and as you can see, we got some of our members under here talking, over 1,400 members, guys. So my thing for new people is, one, if you have a question, just ask it. If there's perishable tabs and dry goods and all that stuff over here, so maybe pick a certain chat room where you have that question at, and then ask your question. You will get a lot of people to answer you. If you want me to answer as well, just tag my name in there. Just put the @ sign and put the Warehouse Series, all right? And I will know that you did that, because I do check Discord daily, guys. Even though I'm not very active on posting videos, I'm still very active on Discord, whether it's just looking or posting something. So with that being said, another thing I want you, because it is a non-stop about talking about 200%, 170%, 150%. Ignore the high percentages that these experienced selectors are talking about, okay? Because one of the first things I say is whenever you come to into the warehouse and you're on your training weeks or you're just off your training weeks, ignore the standard time. We need to learn our system. We need to learn to build a pallet first before we start worrying about our percentages. And then you come over here and you see these guys are throwing 170s, 180s. Guys, remember two things. One, you are a new selector. You will get there one day. These guys have been selecting for a while. The other thing is that every warehouse is different. 170% at one warehouse could be extremely different from 170% at a different warehouse. So what you need to do is focus on your percentages that go on inside your warehouse. All right, guys, so I just wanted to go over a little bit of the chat rooms real quick. So, guys, these three videos might not be the most viewed videos, but they are the most that I have got feedback on Discord and on my YouTube videos, saying that these have changed the way I build, and they are helping me. Now, these cross and T videos really come into play whenever you're a perishable or dry goods or a warehouse that has a lot of smaller cases. So the first one's irrelevant. You don't have to worry about watching the first one. Watch the second, third, and fourth. But anytime you hear me say Tim's top videos, that's where they're at. Okay, so you hit that tab and then you go search all my videos over there. I have a lot of videos over there that I feel are really beneficial to watching. So I'm just trying to make it easier for you guys to find some really good videos to watch. Guys, down here, Tim's selection videos. All right, so that is me actually selecting in the warehouse. When I was in the warehouse, I filmed myself selecting in the warehouse, or it's just my work. So if you want to see my work and what I have done in the past, that is right there under Tim's selection videos. Now, there's two chat rooms in here. I ask you to keep no chats. If you start chatting in these two chat rooms and you see your mess or your conversation deleted, it's because I deleted it. And that is the warehouse check-in and Where in the World. I just think Where in the World's a nice little fun way. We've had people in the Netherlands, we've had people all over the world check in on this Discord page, and I just think it's cool to see where people are from. The reason why I don't want it on the warehouse check-in is like, okay, I work at Publix warehouse in Florida. Okay, well, maybe I just applied for Publix warehouse in Florida. I'm going to go to warehouse check-in. I'm going to start scrolling through. Maybe, like I said, I applied for Publix, and I'm going to start talking to these people. Maybe I could send these guys some messages saying, hey, what do I need to expect from Publix or any warehouse? All right. So when you go to warehouse check-in and they're, hey, I'm at Gordon Foods. Hey, I just applied for Gordon Foods. Maybe I'm going to message this person and see if they can help me and see what I'm in store for. So that's why I like to keep these chat rooms clean. I don't want people scrolling through a bunch of conversations. Forklift operators, everything else is basically, YouTube is all my YouTube videos. Any YouTube video that I put out on YouTube is going to be right under this YouTube tab. So it's just easier access. So if you guys are on Discord, you don't have to go over to my YouTube channel and click on a video. You can click on it right here on YouTube. Right here on Discord. All right, guys, the next thing I'm going to talk about is Cube. Very popular, and it's a very good thing to learn. It is extremely important to know your cubes. All right, so I don't know, our cube was 69 or 65 cube or whatever before I left the warehouse. It's actually probably a little taller than that, guys. These are not exact. These are general. I'm a 6 foot tall person, so I was trying to base it off of me. So basically a 15 cube pallet was below my knee, or to my knee and a little bit below maybe. All right, so I'm just trying to give you an idea of what these cubes are. So if you hear that I have a 15 cube pallet and it's like 12 cases, you know that you can fly through this order. It doesn't matter where you put the cases on this pallet. It is going to be a very fast order for you to select. 30 cube, same thing. I get a headset. I have my headset. It tells me I have a 30 cube or a 35 cube pallet. I know that cube is going to be around waist high or a little bit lower, and I'm going to be able to bolt through this because the placement of cases do not matter whenever you have small orders as much. Now, when you are a brand new selector just starting to select in the warehouse, I ask you to place all of your cases. It doesn't even matter if you have 8 cases. I ask you to place them on the pallet as you would build a 75 cube pallet, because you are getting in the rhythm of putting these cases in the proper places, because everything is Groundhog's Day, guys, in the warehouse. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. It's a lot of older people like myself refer to Groundhog's Day. It's a repetitive motion over and over again. So if I put a case on the front corner and it works perfect there, I'm going to put that case on that front corner every single time. So whenever you guys have smaller pallets just starting out, please place your cases, because you're still learning in the warehouse. We don't want to get in the habit of just throwing cases all over the place. Now, when you're experienced and you get your system and you get a 30 cube pallet and you're on your standard time, you could fly through this and just place the cases wherever, as long as you're not, losing them. All right, guys, 45 cube pallet. For me, a 45 cube pallet was usually just about chest high. All right, so I'm trying to show this on a diagram so you guys could see. A 75 cube pallet, at one time we did have 75 cube pallets, and then we dropped them to 65 at my warehouse that I was at. And that is basically, I'm 6 foot tall. If I put my arm straight up and then go like this with my hand, that's the top of a 75 cube pallet for me. So I always say it's roughly a little over 7 feet probably for a 75 foot cube pallet. So it's just trying to give you an idea of, whenever you hear in the headset, you have a 65 cube pallet. But guys, this is for a 6 foot person, if you're 5'10" or whatever. So basically what you need to start doing, this is part of developing your system, is where on my body is these cubes? And just start getting used to it. Okay, so I'm 5'10", and maybe a 65 cube pallet for you is at the top of your head. So start learning in your headset. I got a 65 cube pallet. I know it's going to be head high. And that is a good way of learning of how the height is going to be, because it does dictate how you select your cases, especially when you're towards the end of your order. If you have a lot of cases left, but you know it's going to be head high, it's probably a lot of smaller cases. All right, so it's just a good way to try to get an idea of how to gauge the height of your pallet. All right, guys, so I want to give an example. So let's say we get a 120 cube pallet. In our headset, it says we have 2 pallets, a total of 120 cube. And let's say at my warehouse, whatever warehouse you're at, we're just using this for an example, my cube maxes out at 75. So a 75 cube pallet is a full pallet at our work that we're allowed to select. We have a 120 cube pallet. So that means one of our pallets is going to be 75 cube and the other one's going to be 45 cube. Once again, this is knowing your heights in your warehouse, what they max out at, and this is really good to know. So before I even start my order, I know I'm going to have one that's over my head around maybe 7 feet, and I know I'm going to have another one that is going to come probably just below chest high. So it's a very good way of gauging the heights of your pallets before you even start. All right, guys, and with that being said, there's two ways of doing that. You could either do it the first example, build one full pallet and then have a small second pallet, or you could build 2 equal pallets. Now, a lot of times warehouses ask you to build your front pallet as tall as you can get it because they're trying to save space on the trucks. But with that being said, I always tell people, I don't care what your warehouse says. If you're a new selector, they sort of lean off of you because they want you to learn. So to me, don't overwhelm yourself with a full pallet. If you have a 120 cube pallet, build 2 even pallets that are going to be around neck high and call it a day. All right. And they're just going to be a lot more easier for you to manage these. Now, the important thing is whenever you're selecting these pallets is to make sure when you want to start your second base. I have talked about that in the past. Your trainer should always teach you the base items throughout the warehouse to start your first pallet, and when is a good time to start that second base on that second pallet is very crucial in building these pallets. But me personally, if I had 122 guys, now our warehouse didn't really care about the height. So even me as an experienced selector, I'm selecting this way every single time. If I have a 120 cube pallet, I'm probably going to select 2 even pallets, make it easy, less reaching up over my head. Guys, this is a wear and tear job, wear and tear on your shoulders, wear and tear on your lower back, your groin, everything you could possibly think of. It is wear and tear over time. So the less that you have to reach way up over your head, the better. All right, guys, with all that being said, this is what I do on Discord, or on this channel. I go on Discord, I pull pictures off of Discord, and I try to help these people build a better pallet. Now, it's not always necessarily, this person needs help. Maybe I'm taking this picture off of Discord to help newer selectors select a better pallet. So this is a dairy pallet, guys. Once again, here's our cube. So we got roughly probably about a 65 cube pallet, and we got roughly probably around a 55 to 60 cube pallet in the back. So knowing your cube is really good. You're going to know the height of these. And it's also going to let you know how condensed and how tight do I have to make these cases. Can I leave holes throughout my pallet? Because if I have a full pallet and I leave these holes, my pallets can be taller than 75 cubes. So that's things to keep in mind. Now, we did a good job, guys. We got a slip sheet in here midway. Guys, after our base, if you're going to use a slip sheet, use it one time, use it right in the middle of the pallet and be done with it. I've used probably 3 or 4 slip sheets in 26 years of selecting. I just was not a slip sheet person. But I say if you are going to use them, keep it minimal, keep it halfway. There's no need to have a slip sheet in any of these layers because we got a nice heavy layer and we don't need slip sheets in here to keep these layers together. But if you want to put one right after your base and then all the smaller cases are coming, it's a good place to utilize that slip sheet. More holes to my likings up here. I like to keep cases nice and tight. I don't even mind filling these gaps in later. So even if I'm up here selecting and I got like a cookie dough or a yogurt that's not, like the yo plates, the little boxes, or maybe I have something that could stick in here, it's not going to serve for a building on top purpose, but keeping columns from swaying back and forth. So I do like to fill holes in. Same here. And not to mention, the more cases you fill in down here, the less you got to throw up over your head. All right, guys, so these next couple pictures are, I believe this is a newer selector that I was working with and I never got to, and I apologize. But guys always say these look like the, clear cases, clear wraps. Keep them in the middle of the pallets. Always focus on keeping boxes on your corners and keeping these clear wrap cases in the middle. Doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you have to do that, but I'd like keep them towards the front of the pallet like they did. They got their Fairlife over here tucked into the middle of the pallet is where I like to keep the Fairlife. I don't like them as quarter pieces unless it's on the front of my pallet up high. So like up in this direction here, I would put them up there. Guys, hell of a good, got the, they come wrapped so they're not level right in the middle. I love the way they did this, and then they bridged the yogurt across it so they don't even have to stack on it. We got big heavy cases on the corner. Guys, this is where my crossing T videos really come into play. We got the side of the back of the pallet, looks pretty good. Guys, facing in, I love it. Big cases on the corner. You can get away with column stacking, guys, in the dairy. We got a nice solid base. We got 2 solid rows as our juices, our milks and stuff as a base. And then you can get away with column stacking. You can still knock your pallets over, but the thing is the stagger. See this little yogurt just touching this? It's those settle tie-ins that keep these columns tied in together. So you don't have to go crazy, switching cases every 2 seconds. You could column stack and then have subtle tie-ins. See how this comes off of it's just subtle tie-ins, guys. It's getting enough of that weight distribution to come off the corner to the middle of the pallet, so we're not tipping cases over, or the whole column over when we go around the bend. Now here's our side view, of our back pallet. We did really good on that front pallet. This one here, I don't like as much. I don't like this tying in a high to a low on your corner to boot towards your corner, because at this height the pallet's good, but at a taller height we're going to start getting cases to lean forward. So I don't like the tie-ins to a high to a low like that. I try to refrain from doing that. I do like these two cases. These are the long Chabanis, or Dannons, whatever. I do like them on the corner, tying in your corner, but I always keep your insides, guys. It's a high corner, low inside. All right, we have a high inside with a low corner, so we need to correct that. I don't know what this is here, but I will not do it. Anything with wrap on it, I am not sticking on its side, because 9 times out of 10, the wrap's just going to come undone. It's just going to start falling apart, and they're not as structurally strong as a box is, obviously. So when you stick something like this on its side, you're asking for trouble. And you can see that this milk here is just like leaning on it. Not a good idea to put this case on its sides. I like the skinny case in the middle. You're topping your pallet off, not a big deal. Let's take a look at your last picture. This one here, you just went totally wrong. So this is where, if you are brand new to watching this channel, this is where my crossed T videos come into play. This stuff right here, these big cases in this part of the pallet, right in the middle, those are cases that you want to run this direction, not this way. You want your corner sets, it always gets a bow up. 9.999 times out of 10, when you put cases like this, your pallet's going to flare out, because you're forcing cases this direction in this part of the pallet that they do not need to be. These cases, this whole entire middle section would have been my corner, and then I would have had smaller cases in the middle. Cross and T videos, and you would have built this 1,000 times better. All right, guys, that's it for today. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comment section below. Discord, that link is in the description below. Please join that Discord, over 1,400 members. And guys, and I apologize. Every once in a while we get spammed over on Discord, just like any social media platform. I'm not always on Discord, but I do appreciate the messages. So please just keep messaging me. Anytime I get spammed, I'll get over there and get that crap off of there. It really irks me. But there's nothing I can do about it except for delete it whenever it happens and ban the person. So that's it, guys. I appreciate everybody for joining in. Check out my eBay store, 25% off until Monday on store-wide. Check out my stuff over there. And if you want to donate to the channel, I appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.